at this banal monologuing.
And we are back. Before we get right into it, I should say that the intro to this podcast will be something interesting. I guess everybody who's watched this has seen it by now since they watched it. But if you haven't seen it yet, I'm making a Roger Stone AMV. So it'll be something special.
Sweet. I gave that X-Files one that you made to Boneflower, so hopefully we'll start saying that in podcasts that as well.
You know what, just to add more dopamine, right here, X-Files intro. Boom. So everybody got to see the X-Files intro, because they haven't seen it before. Have to edit that in. Back to it's recording, everything's good. So, still...
We were talking about Eldritch Horrors and music autism.
Right. Do you want to... We still got tons of stuff. You want to move on? You want to keep talking about that kind of stuff?
I would be cool talking more about Eldritch Horrors, or if you got... more interesting stuff, I'm all for it. I am well into my cups, so I'm down for anything. And it's wine, so it's a good buzz.
We probably should get to the questions Boneflower asked at some point, but if you have anything else to say a la Eldritch Horrors, I'm just sort of tagging along. I don't really have any other thoughts.
No, I used to have a theory for what that was a metaphor for, but that was like a year ago, and my memory is not what it used to be. It had something to do with octopuses, and I'm remembering now. Okay, do you know Watchmen? The end of that one?
With the fake alien?
Yeah, the fake alien, and it's psychic, and it explodes everybody's heads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so clearly there's an overlap there, and also there's like there's something to do with the idea of the octopus and the tendrils expanding over the earth and like controlling everything and like scooping it up into its great beaked maw. And there was some sort of connection there. Something to do with aliens and psychics.
Yeah.
And predatory, and it's like the Black Sun, right? That's what the Lovecraftian horror is that the Cthulhu is the Black Sun. There you go. I just won the game.
Maybe. I have to think about that. It's definitely true that, obviously it's something super foreign. Bottom of the ocean fucking shit. Mm-hmm. And I've seen, the articles on Drudge. Maybe you've seen them, like, octopuses are from space?
Yeah, Cleve posted about those.
Oh, he
his
did
LinkedIn.
Too? Maybe they are from space. Who knows?
Well, if Cleve says so, then we're obligated to believe it because he's a prophet. He prophesied that he was going to release Grimoire, and what did he do?
Oh, yeah.
He might have prophesied that he was going to release it 20 years ago, but, nobody's perfect.
That would be way too much work to go through. What was Cleve right about? What was Cleve wrong about? That would be...
Oh, Lord.
That would take you 10 years to do that.
It would be a good use of a lifetime. That's what I think. Probably. I've always figured that with a guy that's smart, my time would be better spent just bringing him coffee than like trying to do my own shit. But that's not really allowed anymore.
Bring him meth, make him into a trucker. That's the melon way.
Okay, so I got to find an ambitious melon man out there. Bring him meth, and then when he's gonna go and like use the bailet, just be like, "Hang on a minute, though," and save the world.
I don't know what would happen if you gave a really hardcore purebred melon meth. Who I have no clue. I guess Hitler. Yeah, Hitler was I don't know if that's propaganda though.
Yeah, that's the thing is like anything. There's so much propaganda around that.
Yeah, I do know.
But amphetamines were pretty heavily used during World War II, so I would not be surprised if the leader class was also doing that, especially like toward the end. I mean, 3 years of that shit. Can you imagine?
The SS were given loads of meth. I know that. They didn't. Forgetting, I literally knew what it was actually called, but my memory's never been very good. In some ways.
So, I guess it wouldn't be surprising. Do you think that there were any occult shit? I read a book by a gal named Constance Cumby a while back called The Twisted Cross that was about the
Vril Society.
The Spiritists and all that stuff. I don't know about the Vril Society.
I don't know the truth about the Vril Society, or the UFOs in Antarctica, or the Hollow Earth in Agartha, or the Moon Base. I sound like I'm talking...
Well, UFOs, I buy the Jacques Vallée story.
Okay, to be serious about it, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that some of them were into that.
Some of them were into occult stuff?
I think Himmler was just like looking at the what's it called, castle, and the damn... It's hard to distinguish what is... I mean, look, they had fucking very expensive expeditions to India to find all that Aryan shit, try to find the damn... I mean, the whole find the Holy Grail thing from Raiders of the Lost Ark was because the Nazis did that kind of shit.
So, all right, so should we throw a bone to the Hitler autists and say that Hitler wasn't the worst person of all time?
No, he wasn't. No. Don't really mind him.
But okay, so anytime... I think, especially like neo-pagans and shit now, that those things have become pretty well delineated, but I think they were not back in the day from the occult stuff. So I think there was probably a lot of experimentation going on, because they were definitely post-Christian. Like, that is pretty clear, I think.
I mean, I read a little bit of Hitler's Table Talks, and yeah, it's weird because according to his actual life history, he was a very devout Christian in terms of, when he was a child, when he was a teenager, was big into his church, sung hymns all the time, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. That's in The Greatest Story Never Told, if you can find it. Although that's also propaganda, but a lot of that I've looked into and was true, a la in Poland, the Polish were massacring ethnic Germans before the Germans invaded. It wasn't just, Hitler wanted to invade Poland. No, he had reasons which are frankly much, much better than what had started most of the wars in the modern times. But that's...
Did he continue to be devout? I heard that he was in seminary, was it?
Yeah, so the weird thing is, I guess I'm not sure if Hitler's Table Talks is a real book. It's a little, from what I've read, it's intellectually complex, so if it was a forgery, that would be more work than...
This would be a good one for me to read, actually.
I haven't read all of it. I've read a couple chapters of it, because I have it on my computer.
Is it like theological musings or something?
It's all kinds of stuff. But I remember him talking about basically, Christian, sort of Nietzsche stuff, Christianity, slave morality, the Christian will never, blah, blah, blah. Basically, sort of the whole, like, they're losers, they don't do anything kind of thing, which, kind of comes up every now and then in the modern era.
I know. We're going to trigger everybody.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about that. Read the book, because it's not my words, bros.
Okay, I will. I've been looking for another flag to throw up on my NSA profile.
So on October the 14th, 2018, you bought Hitler's Table Talks.
What? Are you saying that disqualifies me from FBI? This is racist.
It'll get to that point, but thankfully it's not there yet. They're not that good.
No, I think don't they like interview everybody from your family though?
Maybe.
And friends.
I've never. Oh, the FBI.
I have a great idea. I'm going to offer a service where you pretend to interview everybody, or like you interview every. Like, okay, let's just say you want to know what people actually think about you. then you can pretend to be oh no, that would be a felony. Hang on. Impersonating an FBI agent. Okay, scratch that idea.
I actually have a story, a very short story. When I was in high school, the FBI actually called my parents and my school saying that they were investigating me. And it's because, I don't know this is because, but I do know it's because. First of all, for the record, you didn't do nothing, right? I didn't do nothing. I was a good boy. Never acted out. Was super conscientious, good, never did anything wrong. Yeah. But they thought I was like maybe involved in illegal gun running, which was it's just crazy shit. That's what they said. That's what they told my principal. Yeah. No, I didn't actually do that. Jesus. But I can understand why, sort of. It's because probably, I guess people in this audience do remember, but most people wouldn't remember the older internet back when it was more dank. It's gotten less dank, much less dank over time.
Yeah, thanks, normies.
Yeah, fuck you. But like you could Google like how to make machine guns and stuff, and books from crazy people would come up for free download. Crazy people in a good way. I downloaded all those because I was like, I knew even back then, hey, one day I'm not gonna be able to get my hands on this, and even if I don't want to make machine guns or whatever, it was all kinds of stuff. It's like, well, maybe I should just download this. So I downloaded like everything. And that's a pretty good way to get on some lists. And I guess it got to the point where they contacted my parents and my school. So even back then,
we think your 8-year-old is trying to CNC his own guns, and so they can sell them on the black market. Ghost guns.
Pretty much.
That's topical, actually.
Oh yeah, because Cody Wilson pedophilia thing.
Wait, pedophilia? I didn't hear about that part.
Apparently. And I don't know if this was a honey trap. It almost certainly was, in my mind, a honey trap. But apparently...
Oh, hang on. This is the 16-year-old, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not pedophilia. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Still destroyed him.
Oh, so they actually did bring him down on that?
Yeah, he's no longer the head of Defense Distributed.
Oh, I don't mean that. I mean, like, he completely destroyed, like...
Oh, they don't care.
Obviously, he can't get a job at
fucking
Facebook or whatever, but...
They're going to try to, but I don't think they care about that compared to kneecapping Defense Distributed.
Okay.
Yep. So now you know, guys, if you're in charge of anything important in the culture war, never leave your house and don't talk to women and record everything all the time. And when you're traveling...
body cam's actually really cheap.
Yeah. And when you're traveling,
like $30.
And when you're traveling, buy something every couple hours to show where you were. I'm serious about that. If you ever become important, that's what you got to do. To say, when they say, "Oh, you were here and you raped this woman," you're like, "Nope." Every hour I buy something at a gas station or whatever when I'm traveling, and here I was. Here is my bank record. Go fuck yourself. So there you go. And also,
you can be on the Supreme Court.
Yes, you can do anything if you just keep enough records, assuming things don't get to the point where they just throw out all physical evidence, which at that point things go hot, or if they don't, then people are retarded.
I hate to break it to you, but people are pretty retarded. Although, hey, maybe the normies are waking up a little bit these days. I don't know. I always think that every couple of days, and then I get disappointed. But hope springs eternal, and I guess there's a part of me that's kind of an optimist. Maybe there's some sort of like shadow function thing going on where like my black pilling and my optimism. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I'll say. I'm just saying.
It's also unpredictable. Well, some things aren't, but we should get back to new podcast things. You want to do the bone flower questions?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember what they are either.
I have them right here. Would like to hear about the Kavanaugh thing, the angry mob response by leftists, and the definitely not a mob response to the media. So that's the first one.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I'm glad about the polarization it's caused. Kavanaugh himself is weak on the Fourth Amendment, but generally a good, Supreme Court person. Not aware of his ties to Israel and the Zionists, but I'd imagine, of course, that they are what they are. But, he should be radicalized from the experience, and I'm glad ultimately that he got in, and I'm very glad about the polarization. So that's part one. The angry mob response by leftists, not surprised at all. And I guess that's really my only response to that. The definitely not a mob response to the media, I'm very happy for it. It's destroying trust in the media even more. They went out of the realm of what was best for their side and even what was best for clicks. They just got way up into an uproar and it hurt them, so I'm glad that they went as far as they did. Then again, this all being said, if the Republicans had folded, it would have been catastrophic.
That would have been a
belief.
disaster.
Yeah, and I thought that was going to happen actually for a while.
We would have lost the midterms big time.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's another thing, yeah. You guys are already going to lose the midterms. Everybody talking red wave. God damn.
No, not red wave.
People were talking red wave. And I just want to be clear, before Kavanaugh, that's not a possibility. Because in many districts...
still not a possibility, really.
Yeah. But before, there were Republicans in districts up for contention. There were no Republicans running in some districts. Yeah. So for everybody talking that shit, no. Fuck no. But now I think it's either blue splash or maybe a little bit even more for Republicans. So that's all I think about that.
All right. I think I had two additional things. It was nice. So I think we saw peak Me Too. So it's nice that is over. So everybody woke up to the Whammon question a little bit, and because they were doing their winner effect thing, right? Where they were getting completely out of control, and they were starting to get into that reality-based community mindset where they're like, we can just meme things into existence now. We have such power that we can speak rape into existence and bring down anyone we want. We control everything. And finally, somebody slaps them down. And so Whammon as a composite, as a group, got deflated just a little bit, and I think everybody's happier for it.
Yes.
So that's kind of nice. They got their bubble busted a little bit, or bursted. Bubble burst. And so you see a lot more anti-feminist shit out of normies. I mean, I saw that in my class where people are just like, yeah, that was bullshit. Everybody knows it. I saw that at work. Now, granted, I'm around very conservative, in very masculine areas. Like, to give you an idea, you wouldn't want to touch anything in the male bathrooms in these areas because they're so freaking dirty.
Ew. Okay.
This is just on a shop floor. The bathrooms are pretty shitty. So, in a machine shop or something, just because it's a very masculine area, and men, as a rule, don't clean a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, my view on that is biased a little bit, but you do see some wokeness on the Whammon question finally. So that's good. And it was
okay.
I'm trying to think of the other point, and I can't remember it. I'll come back if I can remember it. Let's hit the next question.
All right, the next one's directed towards me. Actually, all the ones left are directed towards me. You're in college now. Do you have a plan for, quote, he totally raped me? Well, first of all, I don't really have any plans to get in any relationships or anything. I don't really see how that helps me in any way. I should put myself out there more just to, get those skills up. But my plan is to not fuck anyone, I guess. That's pretty much it.
It's a pretty good start. And also you have to, like, not piss off any crazy women, too.
Yeah, that too. I mean, that goes unspoken, but yeah. I'm being a good boy. I'm getting I don't like it, but I'm here for a reason. I'm in college for a reason. And
keeping your head down, or are you, like, joining the college Republicans and that kind of shit?
You know what? Let me tell you about that. I went up to him and I said, I don't want to be on your list, right? I'd love to come to your thing, but you know how it is now, right? With the polarization and stuff. So I'm going to give you my email. So send me an email. I'll come to your meeting. So the college Republican thing, it was like completely staffed by fucking sorority girls, little bitchy sorority girls. Like, wait, why would you not want your name? And I'm just like, fuck, okay, yeah. So let me give you my email. And they never did. They never sent me the email. They never invited me. And let me be clear, I'm not exactly, enthused to be a Republican or to join these people or to help them. My general position is fuck these retards. And so if they're not even going to send me an email, I'm not going to join their shit-ass 2 degrees left of Democrat organization, And so that's that. And it only saves me time.
You can't trust a thought to send an email.
You can't trust a thought to use logic, and when you say I don't want to be on the list of college Republicans because maybe in the future that could be bad for me, I just want to come to the meetings. You can't trust them to understand that, Because I'm trying to fucking get into a graduate school, It's a little kind of hard, actually, kind of really, 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 really hard.
Yeah, and you don't want that to burn out over one stupid little thing.
They could seriously know that. They could seriously look that up and say no.
Yeah, well, it's that bad now.
Yep, and I'm not taking any chances.
It wasn't like that when I was your age, and it sounds like an old man to say that, but I'm only freaking 30.
Well, in any case, I'm mad.
That was never a consideration. Seriously. Never even crossed anybody's mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to black belt, but...
Well, college is a special place, so that's all I have to say about that. Next questions. Also, what do you recommend for keeping this crazy train rolling? What does energy, momentum, focus look like in the next few months? Well, I can't get too personal with that for obvious reasons. I could just be a dick and say read Guto, but let me think for 30 seconds. And Aioli, if you want to say anything, you can say to that.
Depends what we're talking about with Crazy Train. Which Crazy Train? So we could be talking about Edenism. We could be talking about any of our personal lives. We could be talking about the alt-right. We could be talking about the entirety of Western civilization. Like, how do you keep that crazy train rolling?
Yeah.
So let's talk Edenism, because that's a crazy train. Honestly, I think that depends mostly on me. It would be nice if it were otherwise, but I think that's just the way that is. It'd be cool if... Well, I won't say, because everybody has their own plans, and... Yeah, so I won't say that part. But I think that mostly depends on me and, like, my energy level. We could talk about you and me. We could talk... Let's talk the alt-right. So what keeps that crazy train going?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't keep up with that.
Okay, quick summary. The alt-right is getting demolished on the social media front because they're kind of dependent on their platforms, and they're starting to realize that bending the knee doesn't work anymore. So they're having the Lindsey Graham about face thing happen with them. Like, well, hang on. If you're just gonna delete my YouTube anyway. So you heard about Alex Jones and all that shit. Who knows if they'll boot Molly? I haven't heard that he's gone yet, but everybody's on notice basically, and they're getting really out of hand with the deplatforming shit.
I have a theory about Alex Jones, but keep going.
Okay. So the alt-right is kind of... I think that they're on notice, and they're getting a little more woke than they were before on that kind of shit. A little bit less... Because they're very libertarian-minded, right? They're very money-minded, very... They're on the other end of compromise from like the ultra purists who are like, never compromise on anything. You should never compromise, not even if it saves your life on instead of like getting your minor point across. So the alt-right is like, yeah, I compromise on everything, and I'm Gavin McInnes, I'll stick a dildo up my butt. So the alt-right is scared that I consider that a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The alt-west is that's a tough one. I'll come back to that. So the alt-right has basically changed tactics, and now they are openly and very, very smartly, I think, trying to court the Christian side of things. Like they are... I don't know how genuine they're being about this, because it's always hard to tell with that crowd. Like, because they don't have any problem with deception or lying as a philosophy or as a rule. So, but they are trying to court Christians a lot, and I think that they are doing a good job of it. Although the division was pretty strong before that, so who knows? But they are gaining in popularity. They're doing well. Their energy is going up. Everybody was really low energy maybe 2-3 months ago, but I'm seeing some definite acceleration on that side of things. Alt-West is kind of in shambles, but they're also like doing well in some very specific areas. So yeah, that one's too hard to talk about. I'd have to think about it. Let's see. Crazy Train. We could talk about how the West is doing, like in general terms. Italy's doing well. Nah, that's too broad. Let's not go into that. Do you want to talk?
I don't know anything about any of this.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well,
that's the downside of focus, is you have to be focused.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I have a lot of time to listen to podcasts and shit too, so.
Yeah. So
not as much as if I were a trucker, but
you have better health, and so it's probably about the same, because it's not exactly about time, it's about mental energy. And if you're eating McDonald's and Slim Jims every day, then about 2 years your brain's shot. So yeah,
I would probably die if I did that.
Yeah, a lot of truckers do. Yeah, pretty young.
Well, that's why they got to replace them all with Mexicans and then AI.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what's going on. So, yep.
And how fucked in the head do you have to be to want to force self-driving cars on the entire world just so that you can disemploy truckers because you hate them that much?
Well, there's a lot of interest in it. I'm sure the military is interested in the technology, and then there are people who are interested in the control of it. So, lots of money wrapped up in other aspects of it. And then there's just the whole technology advancement is always good thing, which pretty much everyone has to some degree.
Where does that come from, do you think?
I think that's inbuilt into humans being tool-using primates. Also, the dopamine of novelty.
Intuitively, I don't think that's like the desire to conquer other tribes with your better tools either, because it feels different.
No, it's even more based than that.
You think it's just the desire to be more powerful and have more control over the environment and stuff?
Well, for a lot of people, for technocrats certainly, but I think for the average person, There's dopamine of novelty, and then I think that something happened at some point in human development just to make us interested in, I guess maybe it's FOXP2, but that's the language. It could be that symbolic.
Sorry, you broke
thing.
up a little bit. I didn't hear.
Oh, so there's a gene. It's like FOXP2. So that's FOX52, whatever. There's a gene that Neanderthals had it too, by the way. And that's the gene most directly responsible for human symbolic language usage. If you have that fucked up, you don't develop language like a normal human.
Huh. Do sub-Saharan Africans have it?
To my knowledge, all humans have it.
Okay.
So
it would make sense because they also have speech.
Yeah, and they have tools. They have all this stuff. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's, if you can symbolically use language, then naturally tools come from that. Or maybe it's, like Jordan Peterson says, you see the tool of an object before you see the object itself. Maybe like a cheetah sees, not like it can conceptualize many things as tools, but a cheetah would understand if it runs an antelope towards like a river or something. It understands that is before it understands that is a river full of running water, it understands in the situation that is a block that will help me kill the antelope or whatever. I think it's sort of just inbuilt to animals in that way, selected for or whatever.
Okay. I want to emphasize that I don't know anything, but I think that Jordan Peterson is overgeneralizing a little bit, because I remember being a kid not thinking that way, and now as an adult, that's like the only way I think. So I think that is partially man vision, just only seeing like what an object can do for you, and in particular, only seeing what you're looking at, right? Because women have a word for that. It's man vision. It's like if I'm not looking for something, then I don't see it in the environment. Give you an example. It's like if I close my eyes, I usually couldn't tell you what color the ceiling is because I just don't care. I'm not looking to see what the ceiling is. I'm looking for like the cord to my laptop. And that is the only thing that I'm looking for, and nothing else registers. And because you're always task focused, you're always looking for the next thing. So, but I remember not always being that way.
Yeah, I definitely think that if you don't know the use for something, then that doesn't happen. It's more like, it's like your cerebellum, like you can imagine sitting down, right? It's like the baser structures of your brain. If they see a tool that they have been trained to use, a la a wrench or something, before you use the wrench, the parts of your mind are already gearing up. So if you don't know that it's a tool, then that doesn't happen. Yeah, so it's just a thing.
Yeah. And I think that happens the more technical knowledge you have too. So like if you learn how, I don't know, the power meter on the side of your house works, and you didn't know that before, then you start seeing those everywhere. Versus, you'd gloss over them before that, especially as an adult. Whereas, a kid might see them and not know what they are, and then maybe draw them up with crayons later because they're just thinking about things randomly. But an adult's just not going to care and never going to see it. But the more stuff like that, the more you just start seeing different objects and they pop out at you. So that's what it is. It's more of that pop out effect.
Yeah. So the only thing I have left to say, a la bone flower questions.
Oh yeah.
What do you recommend for keeping this crazy train rolling? This is where I'm going to exit this out. The bone flower questions are now deleted. Goodbye, bone flower questions. But
oh no.
Where
did they go?
They're gone.
Where did deleted questions go?
Oh, don't. No, we have to stop or I'll forget what it was. What was it? Oh, keep the crazy train. Fish oil. This is the new thing. This is the new shit. If people actually listen this far, see, you better, man. You fucking. But fish oil is a magic gift from God,
From the Eldritch gods.
from the Eldritch Abomination. And as the moon spirit of the Eldritch Abomination, I have the most of it. Seriously though, I've been taking 6 grams of fish oil a day for the last week. Can you hear that plane? Is that plane fucking this up? I'll wait.
I mean, I don't care. I've never put out anything good quality in my life. I do 2 of these. Let me see how much is in these fish oil. Yeah, I'm taking 2 grams.
That's good. That's the recommended average. That's what the actual medical literature is basically predicated around for, like the normal. This is going to help you in so many ways. Effects. The 6 grams.
That makes sense. I was just doing it because I don't know anything.
No, that was in Guto. So you were just doing 2 grams, and it just happened to be 2.
Yeah, I think I was doing that beforehand, but because I've taken fish oil for a while for the ADHD, which I have a lot of. I think I've mentioned, and I get a noticeable effect from that. Not everybody does. Like Koenig says, he didn't get anything from it, but I definitely do. Well, Koenig doesn't have ADHD. He has too much attention. He has hyper focus all of the time. Partially, that's just from having way too much mental energy, which I don't.
Not having an effect from fish oil is generally a sign of having a copy, or maybe even 2 copies of ApoE4. In that case, you should be eating salmon roe or krill oil, because they're tied. In that case, it's tied to phosphatidylcholine, and so it'll actually be more readily absorbed by the brain. And by that, I mean the DHA, not the EPA. The EPA will still have the anti-inflammatory effect.
I feel like inflammation is something that he has cared about before.
Oh yeah, look, I mean, I don't want to be whatever, but I think if I talk to him, I could probably solve his diet thing. In fact, let's talk about that. Let's talk about. No, let's not. I don't want to reveal things. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, and he wouldn't take your advice anyway.
Yeah, he wouldn't. But just so you know, if anybody listening to this has mental whatever, psychosis or whatever, you can, read the Rhonda Patrick post, take 6 grams of fish oil a day if that doesn't work, salmon roe, krill oil. But it's seriously been amazing. It's like when I first took turmeric, I was like, oh, I feel a bit better. This is great. This is amazing. It's like 10 times that. Like my mental energy, my mental clarity, just the way I feel. It's
for me, it was
great.
Turmeric, I got a really nice testosterone boost out of that one. But it was iodine that really did it for my brain.
Yeah, the water.
I have a small brain, but now I use to maximum efficiency.
Some people, just supplemental iodine during pregnancy has been shown to raise the IQ of the baby by up to 10 points. So iodine pretty important.
There's so much fucking shit in the environment.
Yeah, all the damn.
Well, they got that kind of boost back in the day when they started supplementing iodine into everything. I think that was one of the Army IQ results.
That was just enough not to get
became policy.
That was just enough not to get goiter. That's not even like a health optimized amount. That's just like, oh, you're not going to get sick amount,
Oof.
And there are people getting goiters now.
Really?
So yeah, it's coming back because a lot of the salt now is not iodized anymore.
Why not?
Because retardation.
The Jews. I'm going to blame the Jews.
Maybe. I don't know. But probably also because babies are fed soy infant formula and people eat McDonald's. And
now I'm blackpilling again.
That's something.
I believe it, but yeah.
I'll stop thinking about that. I'll take another shot. I'll take a shot.
I've probably had too much already, so of course I'm going to take another shot.
Ooh. Spooky.
Not a shot. I'm taking sips out of the bottle now because I finished off my my thermos that I was carrying around. Well, not thermos, whatever you call that thing. My travel cup. I had a sippy cup with the wine I was walking around with.
Yeah. Actually, let's get through all this shit. There's not that much left. and then let's just talk whatever. And you know, okay. So, boom. So Polymath apparently used to have a blog that was as popular as yours back in 2014 before it was deleted by WordPress in May of 2014. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
It didn't run for very long, but it was way higher quality than mine.
I guess
he's an autiste, but he's also kind of, well, I won't say too much.
That brings up a good question, though, is what is your plan if they ever delete your blog?
I don't know. I guess take one of the, I download a backup of it every now and then. I guess I would just upload it under a different name.
Okay. All right, well, I'm glad you have
Do you have any better ideas than that?
No, that's having a backup is definitely, I'd say, good enough territory, you know, and I think probably most people may know how to get a hold of you, assuming you started another site. I guess that all you'd have to do is like start a blog spot and just be like, hey guys, here I am, new stuff coming, I'll do something or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then I could just drop a note to people on Discord and Ultragenics. Yeah. And that's most of the people that'd be interested. I don't know where else.
So is it a good thing I made that Discord, or has it been a waste of time for people?
Not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I think we've enjoyed it. It's been a nice place to hang out. But see, that's another thing. It's generally not productive unless my energy is up and I'm pushing it in that direction. And some people like to be pushed, and some. Okay, so there's like a mix of disagreeableness and like. It's generally a very optimistic place, so I think it's good.
Okay. From the Polymath blog, is there anything posted on there you can remember? Anything interesting that you might want to bring up before it's lost to time?
It had like 3 posts on it, and they were all pretty good. They were usually like either reconstructions from skull remains or descriptions of like types and shit. So
what did he do to get...
Yeah, go ahead.
What did he do to get WordPress to take him down?
He didn't do a damn thing. Somebody reported him for pornographic content, which there wasn't. And then they just didn't put it back up or something. I don't know if he protested it or not, but yeah, they said that there was inappropriate imagery on there. Somebody just got butthurt, like that he was a Nazi or something. Or they probably saw that he mentioned race, and then they're like, "Oh, this must be stopped." So yeah, they were like, there was an inappropriate image of a naked lady on here, which there wasn't.
I guess also Edenism was a much bigger thing back then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, next thingy. Quote, I just ate half a pound of beef and immediately got an erection. This is a good sign and a bad sign. That's from you in 2014.
Yeah, I remember that one. So, I remember that one, and I remember what I was thinking, too. So, what I meant by that this is a bad sign is clearly I've been malnourished in some way, and this is fixing that. And the good thing was like, well, now I know what the problem is. It's a good sign because like I fixed a problem I was having. Like, so this is where my libido went. It's just because I'm not getting the right stuff.
Yeah, it's probably with zinc.
I mean, that would make sense. The zinc does good for me. Like the regimen. I'm still doing the regimen that I was doing last time I talked to you. The vitamins, and it's good. I haven't had problems like that ever since. Okay, I'm going to complain about this again. So, people think that things are better now than they've ever been, and the youth are coddled. And I think if that were true, then why do I have to take like 8 pills a day to have half the testosterone that my grandpa had. And my grandpa never heard of deadlifts. He just drank. And my grandpa never had to worry about SJWs, I'll tell you that. He worked in the same place for 40 years and retired with a pension.
Well,
so you tell me how I have it so good.
Yep.
That's my complaining about that.
I hope it's the environment. I hope it's not genetic. Yeah.
Yeah, I worry about that too. Like, it couldn't possibly have gotten that bad that quickly, right? Is what you hope.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't. It could not. Epigenetics could change. But it couldn't get to the point where people are turning into soy boys without fucking shit happening to them. There's limits, you know.
Yeah, so if this were reflected in like genotypic IQ, which has probably been dropping, I think that we have been seeing a decline faster than we expect to happen in just G, which is on the order. Like they say, it's been about 15 points since 1850, right? Average, which is already extremely alarming, and probably that's been speeding up recently. But that's not as much as like 70% since 1965. Which is about the level of testosterone drop that you expect between boomers or like we'll say silents and millennials. You see about a 70-75% testosterone drop. Like that's way more than you're expecting with G. So I think that is probably more environmental.
Definitely, and I think it's a worse problem in the immediate sense. I mean, damn, if men had the same testosterone they had certainly in 1850, things just would not be like they are now. Period. They would not be that way.
People would not put up with this shit.
Men would not put up with it. I mean, the level of aggression, the level of logical thinking, the art that was consumed, the products that were bought, so many things would be different. I mean, you know, the extreme male brain hypothesis of fucking autism and shit. I mean,
what do you think about that?
Well, I think there's some truth to it, and I think that while it is important if you want to be a melon boon to have a very strong corpus callosum, to listen to your music and to build that up, you know, the benefit of not having that, at least from a developmental standpoint as a man, is that you become left brain dominant. You know. That plus having more gray matter means you are systems thinker, logical, blah, blah, blah. Whereas a woman has more white matter, speed of communication, not depth of communication. It is, you know, emotions tied directly to the logical centers, and it's all this warble-gorble bullshit mess.
Right. Women are spaghetti, men are waffles.
Yeah. And so that's really it. And the more tests you have, the better it gets in terms of the logic. Thankfully, it doesn't keep breaking down your corpus callosum, because at some point you do want to integrate these things, because it's important for having epiphanies and some other things, and also just being better at vocalizing things and whatnot.
Are you familiar with the differences between autistic and Aspergoid brains?
We've talked about it a pretty good amount. I don't know what to think about the fact that, you know, they're tied together in the normal. I don't know if that's bullshit. I should mention fish oil again. Fish oil is the only thing that they've given to the autistic people that's actually reduced autistic symptoms. So, if it is tied to Asperger's, I would love to see somebody listening to this, whoever, start taking 6 grams of fish oil a day for a couple weeks, maybe a month, and see what happens, man. Because I'm gonna signal this hard. That fish oil thing.
But they're gonna start watching Game of Thrones and then not watching the game on Sunday.
Whoa! It'll make you superhuman. No, you'll be better than that. You're already. I'm getting a little drunk. I've taken a couple more shots.
It's It's gonna take you from philosopher Kangs to Nietzsche and Superman.
Actually, I'm actually burned out right now, and I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yours will be the tree stump that pierces the heavens.
Yes,
that's what I think will happen. I'm still gonna be doing the 2 grams. Is that bad? Should I try? Maybe I should try.
I'd love to see. Just do it for a week, because if it doesn't do anything in a week,
then I'd just be wasting money.
Yeah, the issue is the money. Although I found a way to do it cheaper. I found a brand. Like, you can do the math.
Do you buy it from Al back behind Target?
No, but I try. Like, a lot of people wouldn't know, So I just say get Nordic Naturals, right? Because that's trusted, good, smells great. Don't get like the fucking Chinese fish oil or whatever. Like the brand, fish oil brand really matters. But you can go cheaper, but I have all this bullshit nutrition knowledge where a lot of people wouldn't, and so I wouldn't tell them to just go get the fish oil. I'd be comfortable being able to smell it and be like, okay, this is good enough. I wouldn't tell other people to do that. I'd just be like, hey, go get Nordic Naturals. And I know that's a lot of money, but like if you actually need it and it is as amazing for you as it is for me, then it's worth it. Even at that price, it's worth it. Certainly.
So this is kind of like how I can actually buy stuff from Salvation Army and get compliments from people on it, because this is something that I just thought about, and I've developed a sense for what's like nice. But that would probably not be good advice to go to Salvation Army and look for nice things. Certainly not for an autiste. There have been. I have not always had good taste. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Clothes for sure.
I
can barely dress myself.
That brings up what Boneflower. Oh, I'm kind of fucked up. That's good. Good podcast. Hey Akuma, if you're listening to this, I am the liquor. Okay, I am the. Okay, so. What the fuck? Oh, okay. So what Boneflower said about the fashion thing with Guto, like, oh, there's no fashion. Like, I don't want to. I'll just say this, and I really, truly do not mean to be mean, but it was inaccurate. You're gonna be mean, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm not really. I'm really not. I'm really going to try not. I did not. I was wrong to say in the game section that that's all you should know. That's factually incorrect. Okay. But to be frank, bro, if people aren't going to look up a couple blog posts after reading Guto on fashion advice, and I have to spell out every last little thing, then Guto is going to end up being like 2,500 pages. And I already know how many people made it through the first version, bro. And it wasn't very many. Not very many people made it through or even clicked on the posts, which were, in my mind, quite boiled down. Yeah. So you start adding stuff, you wouldn't actually read it. Just saying. And, if somebody doesn't have the will or the drive or the whatever to just, like I say, hey, this is game. You got to get in shape, get status, get your fashion, blah, blah, blah. If somebody's not going to decide, and by the way, fashion is a very, personal thing. If somebody's not going to figure that out for themselves in an afternoon, there's just no hope for them. Like, there's limits, This isn't the manual to life, sentence by sentence. And by the way, that's one of the criticisms of it. So there you go.
That was pretty mean.
No, it wasn't. That was.
I'm crying right. I'm crying a little bit right now.
Do you think it was? The children. If it actually was mean, I'll cut it out. I can't judge meanness. Seriously, I can't.
No, it was fun.
Okay, I really don't dislike you, Boneflower. I don't know why people think that sometimes. I'm a nice person.
Well, you know what you need to do is just take over the world and slaughter everybody and become a god, and then they'll know how much you cared.
Oh, hell yes, but if only. No. Buffalo Trace, how I love you. Buffalo Trace without a trace. This is where we've come. We've reached drunk posting. That's good, but we don't have too much left. Space shit. No, we'll say. Oh fuck! I didn't do the space shit. There's blank. Ugh.
Wait.
Fuck.
Wait. There. Hang on.
There's no.
What's going on
shit.
in space?
I don't know. I was gonna put stuff here. There's not. We're gonna have to move to something else.
Q says that there's aliens.
Q
but
is
maybe
an
he
alien.
wasn't talking about aliens.
He knows because he is one. Jesus, people can't figure this out.
Maybe they did. They didn't make the connections.
Look, I have a homeless man in the park, and every time I talk to him about Q, he tells me he's a fucking alien. And if I'm not going to trust my own homeless man in my part, why would I trust the NSA? Fuck. Okay, we'll go to McDonald's and Caribou are the only functional workplaces I've ever experienced. That was you in 2014. So what form does fucktardedness take at most places of business? Explain all that.
Oh Lord.
That's a lot. You can just hit the highlights.
Okay. The main thing that you see everywhere is turnover.
Okay.
I guess the big difference is that McDonald's and Caribou are predicated on turnover, so they know how to absorb it. And they're also very simple jobs. Probably the biggest one is training. So I think I've whined about this elsewhere. The basic idea is that training is long-term thinking. Oh, okay, so nobody trains, and then they get confused when nobody knows how to do their job, because people have a very, very weird idea about how training works. All right, so here's what usually happens, right? You interview for a job, and either they actually need somebody or not. And if they need somebody, they'll hire anybody. And if they don't, then because nobody puts any effort into hiring for some reason, even though it's the most important thing is like choosing the right people. Yeah. Nobody does it. Nobody can be bothered. Yeah, right? They need somebody. They'll grab any old person off the street and hope it works.
Jordan Peterson, who I don't love Jordan Peterson at all or anything. He's a fucking liberal crap. But what he said, he did a test, right? He did this thing he made for companies so that they could hire the most efficient person, the most conscientious, the most whatever. Businesses wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't give a
fucking
fuck.
Retarded.
So, yeah. Basically what happens is people either need somebody or they don't. If they don't need anybody, they aren't thinking about it, they aren't thinking about the future. They're just cruising. And then when they need somebody, it's like this mad scramble, and they'll grab a hobo as long as it says that they got a bachelor's degree on their resume. They don't give a fuck.
As long as you're a sexy-ass hobo, they'll hire you.
Yeah, and ask me how I know. I'm the sexiest ass hobo. So what happens is then they throw you in the job and they say, okay, you're going to have training for a week, right?
Yes.
Or maybe you're going to have training for a month.
Oh.
And then they throw you with their one of their experienced people, and their experienced person is working 80-hour weeks because they're behind, because they're shorthanded. And then they're like, this person's going to train you. And this person's like, oh, great. So I got to work my 80-hour week because I'm the only person that actually does shit around here. And I'm the only person that actually gets anything out the door. And we're shorthanded. And now they want me to babysit. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, that's... I'll give them something to do, and then I'm going to get my shit done.
That's basically.
And I'm going to get out of here because I got kids, and I got to go home and see my kids.
Okay, that's institutional. That put it with the best guy shit. That's from the 50s, back when things were functional more, and meet the fellows and all that. Because that was in the one of the books I read from the 50s.
And it makes sense
book.
too.
And it does, but when somebody's working that much, it doesn't. But yeah, back then with the amounts and all, it was perfect.
Yeah, so what you got is there's no information transmission, right? So your first day, you watch 8 hours about how you never say anything to female employees or it's sexual harassment.
Never
then
say
they
nigger.
put you with this. Yeah, never say nigger, and don't talk to the women, or they will report you.
Oh.
So then they put you with the experienced person, and then the experienced person gives you something to do and ignores you, so you don't learn how to do your job. Then a week after that, they start coming back at you like, why don't you know how to do your job? Well, and then you figure it out maybe a couple months later. And you start doing your shit, but everything is a hack job after that. Because nobody really knows anything or where any of the instructions are, because nothing important is written down. I think I complained about that yesterday. I mean, 3 weeks ago, because it's Halloween.
Oh, it's Halloween! Fucking...
So, yeah, nothing is ever written down. Oh, I think we dropped out.
No, you didn't. I heard you.
Oh, okay. The noise just dropped. That was spooky.
Oh, spooky. So,
right, so that's one of the major things is generally nobody knows how to do their job and nobody actually got trained, and then they come back at you and they're like, weren't you trained? And you're like, no, I watched a sexual harassment video for 8 hours. I don't know how to put together this control panel. How would I possibly know how to do that? And they're like, didn't you have a week's worth of training? And it's like, yeah, on the other side of the building, and they have just no comprehension that 1 week of training does not mean that you're competent to do every single thing in the business now.
So that's generally the problem, is just shit-ass training, and then Caribou and McDonald's are better because they're simple jobs, and that's pretty much it?
Yeah. They are comfortable with the idea that the people working there have about an IQ of 90, so they need to be stepped through all the parts of it. But also everything, all of their processes are written down. That's a huge difference. You go most places and nothing is written down because, first of all, that makes you liable. And second of all, nobody wants to spend the time because they're either working at a breakneck pace or they're doing as little as possible. There's just no incentive for most people to actually write down the reality of their job, because that's you're taking on a risk there, and why would you? So yeah, that's a huge, huge difference. And McDonald's, Caribou, they just it's very systematized, and they're comfortable with the turnover. Most places they get wrecked by turnover, and they also aren't smart enough to adapt to it generally. Because if they were, then they wouldn't have the turnover, because they'd be putting effort into their hiring decisions, which, to give some places credit, I have seen out there functional businesses, sometimes extremely. I've seen businesses with 3 generations working in the same building, people with 25 years of experience being normal, that's their average. And they have a lock on their industry, right? They churn out shit like it's easy. So they can experiment, they can try new things, they keep up on industry standards. Everything is up to code. Most places not like that. They are hanging on by the skin of their teeth at the best of times.
Yeah, this brings up actually something from a book I've never talked about, which was Spaceman by Mike Massimino. He talked about all these old people at NASA. They're like 60, 70, doing all the hard math. No replacements for any of these people. These were the fucking 1990s. All these people are dead now. Nobody else knew how to do their jobs. And
that doesn't surprise me even for a nanosecond.
And now look at NASA. Scott Kelly's now, apologizing for using quotes from Winston Churchill. And I don't like Churchill for completely different reasons. But,
Right, that's because you're Hitler.
Something like that.
Soon you will be Hitler.
Churchill's a nasty fucker with the, getting the Lusitania sunk on purpose and all that. But anyway.
I didn't know that was him.
Oh, yeah, he was the one who ordered the Lusitania into the known German torpedo fucking hunting zone. He was the one. So, on that alone, that's not even there's tons of other stuff. But,
so he's the one we have to thank for all those deaths of Americans, anyway.
And he's, raging alcoholic, fat fuck, smoking cigar. Oh, no, I'm talking about myself. No. No, he was bad. He smoked cigars I never smoked cigars. He drank. I never drank. No, but he was an alcoholic and he smoked like 13 cigars a day or whatever. Degenerate. Like had his generals come into his bedroom while he was shitting himself and he talked to him. Great person.
I remember hearing Lyndon Johnson did that too.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing how super, well... Degenerate people, yeah. And a lot of it's, they're just so disagreeable that they can just, like, push people around. We need more disagreeable people. That's what we need.
Do we? Is that what we need, let's say, on the right? I argued in my podcast with Patrick that probably what's going to happen is you're going to have a couple of disagreeable people at the top and a bunch of really agreeable people. Okay, so honestly, that's one of the things about Generation Z that is looking kind of up, oddly and paradoxically, is that they're super agreeable.
Oh, another
because that is probably going to be really adaptive if they have the right disagreeable leader that they're following in their little subculture that they end up in. Which probably they're going to be less into subcultures, but overall, I think we kind of that's a good thing, right? There's probably too many of them right now. So anyway, some of those agreeable types will end up with Box Day. Some of them will end up with the right stuff, and somebody will be here. We hope. At the end of things, it'll be kind of interesting to see which worldviews are actually viable in terms of reproducing white babies. Anyway, you were going to talk about Messini. Some Italian dude wrote a book about the 50s and NASA, and nobody knows how to do that shit anymore just because it never got transferred. Everybody was working their ass off, and nobody was thinking about the future as usual.
It's a great book in terms of vision and accomplishing what you want in life and stuff. But that was just an anecdote that he said in a minute or two of oh yeah, all these old people at NASA, nobody knew how to blah blah blah. The guy who designed the procedure, which in the 1990s was used to replace the malfunctioning Hubble telescope antenna array thing. That guy was in his fucking late 80s. Nobody else knew how to design something, at least fast enough how to design something that would be able to remove all these bolts and shit and put the new thing in, take the old thing out, and have it all work. So this... Okay, I'm going to relay a fun anecdote, which inspired... You know that series that I have one post left I still need to finish, the relatively peaceful balkanization of the United States thing? Okay.
So, that was...
Oh, wait, you're breaking up. Hello? You're breaking up.
We're hearing bullshit out here.
Okay, you're still breaking up.
All right, test.
I'm trying to find the black OK sign. I can't do it, but you're okay. Hello, are you?
Hello.
Yes. No more breaking up. It's good.
All right. So, where'd I cut out? Something blog posts?
You were about to talk about an anecdote.
Okay. So, the series on relatively peaceful balkanization was inspired by the wonderful road workers unions out here in Michigan. Because this summer, what they did, and this was brilliant in a dark genius kind of way, is they tore up all the roads everywhere. They shut down highways and expressways and shit, and then they went on strike to ask for more money. And I thought, what a brilliant demonstration of the complete failure of individualism and libertarian capitalism in general. That they could hold the entire, everybody else who works in Michigan hostage by tearing up the infrastructure and then going on strike.
Were they held criminally responsible for doing that?
No, I think they came to some sort of agreement. They're back to work. But it was just so perfect, and that was what made me think of all that shit about there are some problems here that we're actually going to have to solve here in the pretty near future with this kind of. First of all, the culture that makes that sort of thing okay. Like they weren't just going on strike; they were blocking highways with their cars and stuff as part of their strike. People really didn't like that. That was very short-sighted on their part. But the strike itself, like doing that where they had everybody by the balls and then they drove the knife into the hilt, was just the most perfect demonstration about how individualism and you know how they say that greed works, that whole capitalist spiel. Yeah, that is predicated on some bullshit. So thanks auto workers, not auto workers. Thanks road workers of Michigan for inspiring that.
What's the best car to buy since you? What's the least degenerate car?
I was real taught personally.
That was what?
Huh?
Oh, you're breaking up.
I don't know shit about cars.
Okay, but yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's fucking unions. That's the thing about group action, which is like, I mean that is individualism in a sense, but like they had a group, right? And look at how it worked out for them. No criminal prosecution. They got what they wanted. And you have people on the right who never fucking band together, man.
Yeah, and if they did, they would be disavowing each other the next day.
Because like with the Trump election thing. Yeah. Yeah,
well, you saw that a little bit leading up to the Trump election. Then everybody kind of came together a little bit. And then 2017 shit fell apart. Like 2016 was the year of Trump, and then 2017 was the year of the purity spiral. And then 2018, thankfully, has been the year of the whammon, because that is at least convincing people that the fight is not over. Like, thank goodness you don't see the shit about historical cycles being our savior so much anymore.
I think the whammon will be the first to fall, so to speak, in terms of normie acceptance that there's something fucking wrong. I don't see how it could be any other way. Too. It's just too obvious.
Me too.
It's getting way too obvious. And the old people don't just die off so fast anymore. And, you know, they have their opinions on such things and all this other stuff and whatever. And, you know. And men are getting it in many cases. Of course, like I said earlier in the Discord, there is this issue with the women having so much college debt, and maybe that'll either drive them towards government's taking care of the debt, or in some cases they'll try to wife up men to pay off their debt, which in most cases I'd say to men, don't do that. But if you're super desperate, then whatever.
If you're that thirsty, get a hooker. It's way cheaper.
Yeah. Unless you met
I don't
one
believe
of
in the morality of getting a hooker, or I would have gotten one myself, but by now. But
yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is that is she doesn't love you. She loves your money.
Right. Of course,
although
that's what I'm thinking.
Honestly, I don't know if I see that happening, because they are truly okay. So women are pragmatists, right? But I think that they are pretty. I think they believe the bullshit that they teach them in school, because they're also very impressionable.
Oh yeah, I think they actually believe that all races are equal and stuff like that. I think most women actually believe that.
Yeah, they might not believe it in the hindbrain, which says like, I want to marry a white man. Like that's my Prince Charming idea.
Thankfully, we have that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we have that subconscious mind, at least keeping us from the very worst excesses of our philosophy. Because holy shit,
that's pretty crazy. The lizard brain is the best part nowadays.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great that the lizard brain has been our savior so much more than like the autistic enlightenment philosophy that we've gotten into these days? The only thing that can save us is our disgusting libidos.
Ooh. Got to eat some boiled eggs after that. What am I talking about? Oh, boiled eggs are pretty good. I don't
know. I thought that was some meme that you kids know that I don't fucking know.
Boiled eggs are pretty good.
I try to keep up.
I've been eating them, so they're pretty good because I eat them.
There you go. You're getting into those heuristics.
Spooky. Eggs are spooky. Easter egg, spooky. You paint it with orange and black. Now it's spooky. That's Halloween spooky.
There you go.
Okay, we have more stuff. I mean, we can keep talking about this, but it is kind of black pilling.
What, the women?
Yeah.
Or the future?
Well, the future in general, I suppose it is black pilling. But it generally just comes to sort of moral discussions, moral disagreement kind of stuff of like, oh, what should we do? That kind of stuff. And I'm not of one mind in many ways about such things. And I think a lot of people wouldn't appreciate that.
Well, we could talk about the other stuff then. Do we have any more material that you want to cover?
We have so much more, but I'm limiting myself to this place right here. I'm pointing out with my finger that you can't see, but everyone is a projection of myself because I'm a brutal narcissist. So right there.
In your formerly and currently nicotine stained fingers.
Can you see it?
No.
I say that to my mom sometimes, and it really bothers her because, yeah. Anyway, that's a good way to really fuck with women. It's like I'm not actually I'm not a projection of you. I'm my own being. I can't understand your thoughts. Just so you know, I'm not you, and that really triggers women. Just so you know. Anyway,
tell them you can't control their thoughts, but you can control your thoughts.
If only. That's the other way around. I can control their thoughts, THOTS, but I can't control my thoughts. That's right. Boneflower. Hey, Boneflower. Lizard King, yee brother. We out there, hashtag owning the libs. I can't even understand. I don't even know when he's being serious or not sometimes.
Just assume no. And then the other times also assume no.
That's a good strategy, yeah. It's a good that I'm in a comic kind of mindset after college because it's so crazy. Because otherwise I'd be as serious as I was a few months ago, which is good. I guess it hasn't been that long, has it? It's been a couple of months. It feels like forever.
Yeah, we talked, a month and a half ago, and then it was 2 months before that you quit everything, friendship ended and all that, and then
friendship.
I think before that you were going
ended with
serious.
Moonseer. Friendship ended with Moonseer. Now Akuma's my best friend. Yeah, college has sucked. But there was something you just brought something up I wanted. What was it? Oh, last time we talked. I was smashed, just to be honest. I can't remember anything that we talked about last time.
Really?
That was pretty much a waste of time.
You were pretty coherent.
Oh, shit. I really do have a problem. And by that, I seriously don't have a drinking problem or anything. Like, it's so rare. I mean, like, I really have a problem in terms of being too functional when I'm fucked up. Like, I probably seem pretty functional right now. I think I've drank 10 or 11 shots at this point. That's probably not normal. I guess it's IQ thing to be this functional. But this functional, not dysfunctional, energy, momentum, focus, super functional.
Are you going to remember this one? You have to remember the poster.
I'm not. I'm really not that bad. I'm really not. I could sing karaoke right now, but I'm really not that bad.
You were super functional last time, though. Seriously, we talked through the politics of the Papa John's thing, and I think you were eating a Jets pizza. So we talked. We basically just talked about all the normal stuff, like everything from Illuminati down to like how good certain types of pizza are. We actually talked about how in Michigan we still have Hungry Howie's, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's a shit one, but you want a good $5 pizza? Little Caesars is not that bad.
That's true.
We went through that whole spiel, and we talked about the Papa John's guy, and oh man, that was a good conversation.
Did anything?
I think I was on.
Did anything important? You should remind me if anything important got said, because I seriously don't remember any of it.
We scheduled this talk.
Oh. Oh, Bone.
And you must have written it down somewhere.
It's in my phone. So he put a poop. You put a poop on the That's Right.
What?
No.
How dare you?
No, Lizard King. It's not a poop. It's a black savior. That's right.
Kangs.
Okay.
He should know. He's Kangs.
Oh, we talked about Caribou. Is Caribou coffee? You said Starbucks
Yes.
when you said Caribou. Oh, so it's categorically defined in your brain and sorted in such a way.
Yeah, it really is. That's how adult Boone I am now. Is I can't even remember my own past except in very vague categorical terms. So that one time I might have been hunting. I think I was fishing. It doesn't matter. I was outside of the house. Maybe I was inside watching a fishing show.
Oh.
The important thing is it was this big. I'm telling you right now, like this. Yeah, but Caribou is coffee.
Do they have?
And it's my favorite coffee too. They just don't really have it out here. They tried to move it out into Michigan, but it failed. So now we have Big B, which is not that good.
So you have to eat a bunch of crayons to remember your childhood.
Pretty much.
I never ate crayons.
It triggers those associative memories of eating those crayons. The purple one is the best. So you're remembering correctly.
What if I told you that the purple one was made of soy?
I would still eat it.
Oh, that's too woke for me.
I know it's unprincipled.
What would the alt-white
But it's the
think
aesthetics. You don't understand. The aesthetics is the important thing. And the purple one, aside from tasting the best, that's actually a signal that tells you the greater value of because of the forms, because of white power. Whites are into aesthetics, and Jews are anti. No, that's not the right word. Iconoclastic. So Aryan life forever. Niggas BTFO.
Yeah, purple's weird. It's like it's a special color, and I agree with that. And in some cases, it's like a gross evil color. Like that would take. I'd love to think about that and write a blog post, but you know what I mean.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I do. You want to have your mind blown real quick?
Okay.
Proof that niggas was Kangs is purple is a royal color, and what do black people like?
Oh no!
Purple drank.
Great.
Purple drank. Proof that
the
we was
pyramids
Kangs.
aren't purple.
Because I'm not
They
black,
could've-
but I'm working on black right now because I wanted to get in the mood for Halloween posting.
You know, actually, back in the day, before the pyramids were not 3,000 years old, they used to be purple. And the niggers used to rule over the Hindu Kush, and they had their Kush farms.
Oh.
And they had their... Fuck, what am I looking for? They had their... Shit, I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, yeah.
The important thing is that black people used to be purple because they was Kangs. And now they just drink the drank because it courses in their veins still. Diluted, but it's still there, waiting to be epigenetically triggered by Talforce.
Oh.
So Neanderthals was Kangs also. We was actually blacks, and the pyramids belong to us. That's the real tree stump.
I'm going to put a
Hashtag.
Thalforce meme in the shitpost chat. Because it's been too long since the Thalforce. But see, if I was actually an Eldritch Abomination, like I wouldn't really even concern myself with power. Just be pretty much entertainment and be like, you know what? Let's convince all the black people that they was Kangs. Why not? I'd love them to think that they was Kangs, and they start dyeing their skin purple, and like sewing extra arms on themselves. Like, I mean, that would be kind of the game, because that would be the most entertaining. And then they start recreating pyramids and calling they'd rename the Mississippi River Denial and all that.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a serious question or not, but do you think that you could meme blacks into doing something constructive like that? Like I'm not going to say like super constructive, but just less destructive.
I think so, but it would be prerequisite dependent upon them having an actually functional social structure.
So do you think you could do that by what? I don't know. Does Islam work out for him? I don't keep tabs on that stuff too good. Like,
Well, I mean, the fact it is true, like what the Democrats was the real racist conservatives say about the black family having less divorce in the 1940s or whatever than white people. That's true. I mean,
yeah, but there wasn't Islam then. There was Baptists.
Okay, well, with Islam, I have no clue. I don't know you could get them to kill people. I don't know what else you could get them to do. Maybe you could get them to build a bridge or something.
I don't want them to build a bridge. I just want them to let's start small. They can build a 2-story house.
They could do that.
Has it ever happened though?
I'm sure some 2-story house somewhere got built in Africa by some Islamic Muslims.
Well, I'll allow it as a possibility.
We're going to turn the boomers into Islam and see what happens. Mix boomer with Islam. Islamic boomer. They're kind of mutually exclusive.
That's the scariest thing we've said so far.
Spooky. Oh, spooky Islam boomers. Pareidolia, apophenia. You're all going crazy. You're seeing patterns in our speech. You think that we are a manifestation of the Eldritch Abomination, but we are not. We are just doing a podcast. We should talk about that, though.
What? Doing a podcast? Eldritch Abominations?
Prevention of
psychosis.
Psychosis.
The Kang thing. That was fun, but
you want to talk?
Also very...
You want to talk Kang? I don't know that many Kangs. In fact, I don't know any.
Yeah, let's go back to Eldritch Abominations and how pyramids are summoning them.
Oh, spirals, bro, spiral.
Oh, that's fun.
Ophiuchus, you listening to this? No, he's not. Spiral. We pretty much we've talked about spirals before.
Yeah. Do you think that they're categorically evil?
Put up spiral picture. Here's spiral picture.
Siri, put up Spiral's picture.
See, boom. There's Spiral. Probably from Uzumaki. I'll choose a picture. Some spirals are good, some spirals are bad. That's pretty much as far as we got with it. Apparently, like, logarithmic spirals are good, and then some other types of spirals are bad. That was back in, like, 2015 or 16. It's hard to remember that.
Was it you that said that? I do remember that comment, but I don't remember if it was the linear spiral that was good. And I think it was the linear spiral that was good, so that, like, there's an equal distance between each rotation, but the logarithmic one where the distance increases was bad. Are you disagreeing with that statement?
I think I do, but I think I've transcended that paradigm, because I'm thinking of spirals that hit me as bad in my mind, and some that hit me as good, and some are logarithmic and some are linear. In some cases, a linear spiral looks perfectly fine because it's sort of replicating a circle, and it's, like, you know, kind of nice looking, whatever. And in other cases,
it's very ordered.
Yeah, but then if you had like a square sort of quetzalcoatl Mesoamerican spiral, that thing looks evil as shit.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I don't know. It's sort of a more complicated thing. Spirals. And how to understand them. That's the new book. Edenism book. I didn't ask you about the Edenism book. What's going on with that?
I guess part 2 of the introduction would be about why we think that, or at least why I think that types make more sense than just ordinary variation in a population, which was your theory. You'd probably be very interested in that. So, short answer is that it makes more sense that Neanderthal shifted people would be overrepresented on one side of the distribution versus, like, sub-Saharan Africans are overrepresented on the other side of the distribution. And that's just like, oh, this is a terrible explanation. See, I've had a little bit to drink too.
I get what you mean. No, I've had a lot, but I get what you mean. Like, you know, yeah, all right, I agree. There are some population. Yeah, okay.
So aside from that, the book itself, basically you just have to set up the paradigm correctly, and then the rest you're just quoting from other people's books, so that could go pretty quickly, actually. So you quote, but also you paraphrase some, and then you treat that like original work, and there you go. You got yourself a book. But actually outlining the damn thing is really tough.
Okay.
So the ideas, man. But yeah, that part 2 is still kind of germinating in my head, like everything that I do. So you know what I need?
Alcohol.
I need a stipend and servants to wait on me hand and foot, so that I can just do my Philosopher King shit.
You need a ghostwriter.
Oh yeah, I could do that too. I had actually never thought of that.
Some little Asian boy. You just give him a stack of Jung and say, hey, just read this, write some blog posts.
You know what I should do is study what gets Ophiuchus to get off on his microblogging within my blog in the comments.
What's his...
And then just like inspire him to do that every now and then collect his stuff into mine.
Okay, my associative horizon's going a little insane right now because, barrier break down from alcohol. So I'll do one thing at a time. Number one. Okay, so my theory in specific was that the set of psychometric traits that define the Thal personality can be found in any population, including those that you wouldn't consider have any Thal in them. And they can be found in any animals. That there are different strategies.
Hold up. I'm going to answer your counter, which I went over in that podcast with Boneflower, which has some awesome stuff in it, man.
He's posting it at 2. I will be up at 2, and I will listen to it.
It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. If you study the general factor of personality, there are 2 subcomponents of that, which I really ought to know the names of, but I don't. But one of them is has extroversion, agreeableness, and conscientiousness in it. And the other one has openness and the negative of neuroticism in it. So I think that one's called stability, which just means like you're open to new ideas and you aren't nuts. So you can those are your subcomponents, and what that means is like those are 2 separate modes, like fluid and crystallized intelligence.
Okay.
And what you find in Neanderthal populations, and what we found in the forum, is high stability among Neanderthals and Edenism interested folks. So low neuroticism and high openness, extremely high openness, and like moderately low neuroticism, and low extroversion, low agreeableness, low conscientiousness.
Okay.
So what you have, assuming that the research on that is solid, is indicating that within the human population you do have modes.
Yes.
And the mode indicates that you have a population, like you have those quadrants, right? You do that 2 by 2, and you say there are people. First of all, you just have a spectrum of people from high general factor personality to low general factor personality. That's going to be your spectrum from white people to black people, basically. Not a bad spectrum to go by, where you have a high general factor personality in black people and low in white people. Because if you correlate with IQ, blacks are more, say, extroverted than would be predicted, right? Because I'm not explaining real good. But generally, the general factor correlates with IQ, just kind of loose. And blacks are higher in it than you would expect.
Okay.
And whites are lower in it than you expect. And Jews are really high in it. And I think Asians are low in it. Much lower than I would expect. So anyway, generally Neanderthals have that particular skew, which shows you a mode. I expect the Melonheads would have high conscientiousness, agreeableness, extroversion, and also high openness and low neuroticism. And you could do this whole thing. I'm actually going to do a blog post on it eventually, where I analyze all the types, and to make it exciting for everybody. Probably do all the other interesting populations. So that would be generations, men versus women, that kind of thing. I'd be guessing because I can't be bothered to actually know stuff. So anyway, that's fun.
Okay.
All right. Didn't you have more?
I just don't
things?
see how that changes. I mean, absolutely, genetics and all these things can skew it, but I don't see how that changes the fact that if you look at dogs, if you look at rats, if you look at cats, you're going to have some members who show this personality, this quote foul personality, this personality of high introversion, of introspection, of basically, sort of a neurotic personality. And in other cases, you're going to have people who have the tactic of just going out there, going for it, very extroverted, whatever. And it's dependent upon the environment. It's dependent upon other things. In people, it's quite obvious that at the moment, the extroverted personality is highly adaptive. But, without the concurrent IQ, extroverted people tend to make quite bad decisions. So in the future, it absolutely could be possible that the introverted personality could become selected for again. At the moment, it's highly selected against. So I think that it's completely within the realms of normal psychometrics, and But the big question,
the zero hypothesis has not been debunked. Is what you're saying.
The big question is whether or not this series of traits has any actual tie-in with Neanderthal genetic, that's the big question. And I'm not exactly.
Are you sold on the intelligence side of it?
What do you mean by that?
The idea that intelligence generally comes from Neanderthal genetics.
I'm not sold on that, no. Because I have very low Neanderthal genes, at least according to 23andMe. I have what was it? I was in the top 95 percentile for not having foul genes. And I don't think I'm stupid. So it makes me wonder about, foul genes are the smart genes. That also seems convenient.
Convenient for who?
For the fouls. But seriously, it does.
Okay. I argue that aside from the occasional so who knows how much of the genetic stuff you can trust, right? One story, one study comes out says one thing, another one comes out says another thing. You would actually need to have a great deal of knowledge of what you're talking about, which I don't. I mean, who can be bothered?
Yeah.
But the way I think of it is in terms of Asians, whites, and blacks. So Asians generally have more of the DNA, whites have a little bit less, and blacks have a lot less. And the correlation is pretty, just eyeballing it, you get a pretty good correspondence.
Yeah. I guess my only thing is I want real McSciencey science and not woo, because I did woo for a couple years,
Mm-hmm.
And it never really led anywhere. The problem is we can talk about it all day, we can theorize all that, but nothing ever gets finalized, nothing ever gets completed. And so I became very disenchanted with woo, excluding this podcast, which has been a pretty wooey, which is fun, spooky, but
it is fun. It hasn't been as woo as I would have liked personally. I mean,
hey, you want to? You can talk about whatever you want. I've only got a couple more things, and then we'll just freewheel for a little while and then end it.
Okay, but yeah, I get what you're saying. You aren't properly postmodern yet. You aren't in tune with your generation. You aren't even supposed to believe in reality, bro. You still believe in the scientific method and shit, probably.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So, I don't know. I basically said my thing about that. Did you have any other bits that you wanted to
go
through about I basically said what And like these explanations that I'm doing, that's basically what I would say in part 2. I don't know if that book's ever going to get written, to be honest with you. There's so much other shit.
Yeah, it's probably not the highest. If you could do it quickly, then yeah, and you could probably get a couple people to buy it. Get $15 from putting out the ebook on Amazon.
I would give it away for free.
Oh, well.
That's not even like a question.
Okay. Well,
even if it were going to be sold, I would give it to the publisher for free. And be like, I don't want to deal with it. You do what you want. And then they'd be like, what is this? This is garbage. Then I'd be like, fine, I'll make a PDF out of it. Put it with, put it with all the other crazy nonsense other people have put out.
Yeah, I remember Heaviside was like on your blog trying to get everybody to buy that Bronze Age Pervert book. Like, bro, you think I have time to read a book by a guy called Bronze Age Pervert? Fuck you. I don't even know who that is.
I've heard that it's pretty good, but I have not read it. And like you said, the guy that's calling himself Bronze Age Pervert, that tells you a lot of things about what they believe.
I actually read, going back through your archives, so many Heaviside posts. It's like he was the guy who was like always on your blog back in 2013. So I know a lot more about him, but I think he's changed a lot, probably just from judging, from reading.
Yeah, me too.
It seemed to be he was much more right wing, knew the history of the Hitler stuff, blah blah blah. I've never understood the Japan.
Oh, he ain't right wing, bro. He's always been left wing.
Well, then what was all the Hitler stuff? All this like Mein Volk, like he was making a lot of posts kind of like that.
I don't want to go too DR3 or
what's that?
Alt light on you, but the fascists actually are left wing.
Okay.
I don't want to do that too much. First of all, because the reading would be deafening, but that is actually true. So I understand the whole old right thing, like the Pat Buchanan side of things, but like the Nazis actually were left wing. Like that's not. I don't want to go into that right now, but okay. So today's fascists / wannabe Nazis and like Twitter trolls and stuff, actually right wing, and that starts getting into definitions, which is the most fun if you're actually autistic versus like if you want to be useful. But okay, so they are actually, for the most part, right wing. A lot of them are coming from a left wing background and still have left wing sensibilities. But in general,
Murdoch, all those people left wing.
What I would actually describe on the alt white, it's about 60 to 70% leftist, with but the general aim of the thing is oddly conservative. And I mean that in the sense of like old-timey, like Pat Buchanan type conservative. Like that's the aim of the thing. They're just not very, like they're very focused and it's not very well articulated because they can't. They are a lot more concerned with actually winning and getting shit done, except the purity spiralists. But like the people actually driving the thing are not ideological. Well, shit. Okay, they are, but their ideology is like survival for the most part. There's some actual neo-pagan shit hiding in there, but it's subordinate to actually surviving. So anyway, that was gay as fuck, I'm gonna hate that explanation later. But
I forgot what I even said. I'm a little too drunk.
So okay, what I was gonna get at is that fascism is post.
Oh, Heaviside, that's it.
Oh yeah. So he's like a leftist of some kind. He's more into like Stalinist type communism. or at least he was. He's also way smarter than either of us, so who knows what he's.
I don't really worship intellect the same way a lot of the people around here do. I worship results. It's the Melon way.
Yeah. See, he's a philosopher king. He's above results. There's only will.
That makes me want to vomit.
It makes him what?
I said worshiping ideas over results seriously makes me want to vomit. Like that's like the core of who I am is results, not philosopher king's shit.
Yeah, but do you remember that interview that one time about the school for the profoundly gifted, where the guy was like, it's a major accomplishment for somebody with an IQ of 180 to realize that other people actually do exist.
Oh,
apart from them.
The Prometheus Society report?
No, that's one of the sidebar links. There was a link that I put up in a single blog post, which discussed some of the challenges that these profoundly gifted students and like where they were at and all that stuff.
I never saw that.
What they were running into.
I never saw that.
It was long, but it was also pretty interesting if you're into researching that kind of stuff.
Okay. And in any case, it's obvious. It's obvious he's very intelligent.
Solipsism is an issue in that range.
He's a very smart person. I'd love to talk to him. I don't know what it's like to talk to him. In fact, it's sort of like a Ophiuchus. I'm not too interested in talking to Ophiuchus at the moment because me and him seem to have diverged. Whereas in 2016, 2015, we seem to have actually been in sort of a similar mindset. Whereas now, I don't think we're as similar. But it would still be nice to talk to him. It'd be really nice to talk to Heaviside. Because
Ophiuchus is in it for the woo.
Yeah, I don't get him now. He doesn't really make sense. He was one of the more, I don't want to say rational, but more like me people. And now he's like, woo, I guess would be the best word. Doesn't really make sense to me.
All right, so what were we talking about before that? Something.
How to circumcise goats.
Oh, that's easy. I do that on weekends.
You get a castration ring. You get it's a rubber band. It's a really strong rubber band. You put it around it, and then it just cuts off the blood flow, and then you leave it there for a week, and it falls off. But next.
Okay, you are mixing that micro talk with circumcision.
No, it's castration's not circumcision. We're going to castrate the goats now. We changed it.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Now we don't want to castrate the goats anymore. Spooky podcast. Okay, we're going to go to pareidolia and apophenia and how to prevent psychosis. I think that'd be a good topic. You want any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on, because, me and you both have sort of been in positions where a lot of people go crazy, me for different reasons, but it's like, how to prevent psychosis. That's a good topic, I think.
I'd be interested to know. I already know the first bullet point is get a lot of sleep.
Yes. Oh, hell yes.
How much sleep do you need to avoid psychosis?
For a period, I needed 10 hours.
Yeah, I like to get 9 hours myself, but I think I would avoid psychosis on 6 hours or more if we're talking like a period of 6 months.
Yeah.
So, long term.
I do think that
I would be depressed.
Well, yeah.
Freaking stressed out.
I do think that aside from just the amount of sleep, that both the timing of the sleep, as in having a set schedule, and then also the quality of the sleep are important contributing things to add to that. If you have the whole wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day, that's like, even if you're sleeping 10 hours, but you sleep like, today I'm sleeping from 5 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, you sleep 12 hours. And then the next day you sleep from 8 in the fucking morning until 8 at night the next day or whatever. That kind of movement, that kind of crazy off-schedule fucking shit, even with that much sleep, is really going to mess you up.
Hey, this is a good time for me to do my usual counter signaling of all those people that say that smart people are night owls.
It's gross.
Nah. There is one sleep schedule that works, and when you screw around with it, you ruin things. The more you screw around with it, the more you ruin things. That's what I say. So,
Yeah.
sleep 9 to 6, and okay, most people actually aren't going to do that, but sleep 10 to 6, and you're gonna be fine. That's
yeah.
If you can't get that, then you're gonna have problems, and you're gonna have to deal with them. And I understand that it's not always practical to assume that you're going to get that, but if you can get into that rhythm, that's the best possible world. Is 10 to 6.
Yeah,
you go.
You want a black pill? You can't even sleep at the right times, motherfucker. You want to save Western civilization? You gotta get your sleep schedule on track. I won't say that, even though I just did. So yeah, but seriously, get your sleep. And then fish oil. That's all I'll say. We can go to the next topic. That's enough.
Oh, hold up. I have the best possible advice.
Okay.
I have had 3 good ideas in my life, and this is one of them. The first thing you do when you wake up, I say you play some video games for like half an hour, because then you'll actually get up. I think that's a good plan. And then you actually work out after that too. Like that, I do that, and then I do my cardio. That's a good plan right there. That's a great way to start your day. And then you and then I wake up at 6 o'clock, even on the days I forget to set my alarm. That's how it works, because that's a great way to set a habit. So do that. Do you some video games at 6 in the morning for half an hour. Then you do your cardio. Then you're ready to go. My other 2 ideas are in my ebook, which you can buy for $33.
Can you put the link? Where's the link for the ebook?
It's
send me the link.
You have to pre-order it.
Oh. Can I get Mike Cernovich's juicing ebook if I order your ebook now before the 30-day experience?
Absolutely.
Trial? Oh, okay.
You send me $33, I'll send you Mike Cernovich's ebook.
But it has to be the juicing one. I don't want that gorilla mindset crap. I want to learn how to juice fresh fruits and vegetables.
You think that might have been a signal? Like he was actually naming the juice?
Oh, no.
It was all in code.
God, I hate the juice.
But he loves the juice.
He's such a shill. He's such a shill for Israel.
Is he? I don't know.
I don't know. He's pretty. Like you have to look close, bro. You have to look close. Of course, I understand the whole like if the human brain is looking for something, it'll find it. But yeah, Cernocaik is definitely.
Wait, is he actually? I heard that he was just a dude from Illinois that was LARPing as a Jew.
His parents were extreme evangelicals. I don't think he's actually Jewish. I think his parents and the way he grew up, they were, suck Israeli cock all the time, and he didn't really get out of that, apparently.
That really sucks.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, it's Mike Cernovich. It's not even like, quote, the best of the alt-left or whatever, the alt-light.
Alt-left.
It's the same thing. Alt-left is alt-right. Alt-light.
The important takeaway here is everybody's a shill. Trust no one.
That's I won't say that, but it's pretty bad, yeah. Thankfully, no one's a shill in this area. There are people who are ideologically possessed and people that don't know what's going on. But if you're listening to this, unless I'm wrong, you're not a shill. Because shills don't have time for this.
Yeah, that's true. And that would be smarter than to hang out at my blog.
So you're good. You're not a shill. You are a very special person.
I'm too ineffective to be a shill.
You spooky meme. You have your skeleton. Upvote spooky memes. Gucci Gang. Yeah, I masturbate. Got skeleton with PewDiePie on it. That's what this is. It's spooky.
All right. So
Radio New Vegas.
We were talking about. We got to go back. There were like 3 things. Then I derailed the conversation hardcore, because I do what I want. So sleep is good for battling psychosis.
Yeah.
And fish oil, I would guess.
So the red flags are pareidolia and apophenia. So pareidolia is a subset of apophenia. So any kind of, kind of crazy pattern detection, that's probably the best red flag of psychosis. 136.6 is an interesting number. Let's double that. Let's, attach that to musical Hertz values and find the, let's assume that 136.6 is now the official C2 note, and we're going to make a whole new musical scale. But you see, that's crazy. Yes, you're in psychosis mode now. Red flag. You start looking at shit and seeing faces, and it's not clouds. That's look. A lot of it's common sense, but just finding unusual pattern. Of course, with someone with super high associative horizon, this is hard to.
See, for me, it's like seeing motion. Like it starts. I've never been like properly psychotic. I've just been on the kind of on the edge before, but. For me, I know I need to start getting more sleep. If I'm seeing motion in the corners of my eyes, it's not happening. And then when I'm seeing it in the front of my vision, when I'm just not paying attention, I'm like, what was that up there? Like I see a cat cross the road that didn't actually exist, like when I was daydreaming or something. And then I know I really need to get some sleep, and like I need to drop everything else, is when the hallucination lasts for like 3 seconds. And like you start looking at it, and then you're like, oh shit, I was just like basically dreaming there. It's time to get some sleep and start living right, because I've been working my shit too hard.
Yeah. I guess I don't have anything else to say about that except, do what's in the Guto, do what's in the fight and the Ronna Patrick post / get out of isolation. Isolation has so much to do with psychosis.
I didn't know that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, see, for me it was always school.
I guess that's stress.
Every time. I don't think I've ever had troubles when I wasn't at school, and I've never been at school and not had troubles. And that's probably just a combination of stress and actually just like exhausting my mental energy all the time.
Did you actually work really hard, or what happened?
Yeah, I always get I always get anxiety because I try hard, and I'm also not like, okay, people think I have this super IQ because I come up with this shit sometimes, but it's actually not, and I do have to try really hard in school. Part of that is just extreme ADHD, which makes for it's basically a learning disability. So you can imagine that I'm in there working pretty hard, and I'm not like those super high IQ folks that are always saying like, this is the problem is that it's way too easy, like this theoretical physics nonsense. Like I just get it. It's like that. No, that ain't me. So yeah, the mental energy is kind of a problem, because you drain that and you start like the underlying shit starts coming out. But when I'm not at school, like that happens. Usually, I just get like I want comfort food, or I start getting horny or something. That's normal mental energy drained types of things. You just start looking for impulsive shit. But in school, I get either like on the edge of psychosis or just really high anxiety.
So is there any?
Which is too bad, because I'm basically an academic by nature.
Is there any way someone like you could properly function in a college environment? And if so, how?
If it weren't fucking crazy?
Well, no, as it is right now.
Probably not. I've tried a number of ways. And I've had semesters where I did well, but I was also crazy. Now, that last semester I went for the math degree. I had a very high GPA, taking a few of the most difficult courses they had in a technical thing. And I did well in them. I had a high GPA. But I was also going crazy. So, it would have been nice if I were working on something that I cared about and liked. Like if I were studying psychometrics, if that sort of thing were allowed, I would have probably had a better time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I was working on something that I don't actually care about. Which, granted, I mean, math is kind of fun when you actually get into the thick of it and like you don't have other things to be doing with your time, and so that you aren't wondering like, why am I wasting my time on this? But it's not something I typically do unless I'm feeling super autistic, which I'm generally not. But yeah,
I have no comments. I really
there's other stuff like that.
So different from my experience because I absolutely hate math, hate all that. It's not like I'm not smart enough to understand it. It's just literally I just hate it. I love language and words and ideas. Doing amazing in my writing class right now. I hate chemistry. Oh God.
But you need chemistry a lot, don't you?
I need it to get into doing what I want to do, which I shouldn't probably say on this.
Nah. Well, you'd probably be fine with that one, but probably just don't want to.
Yeah. So, if you have anything else to say on that, you can. I don't have anything. I don't want to talk about school. I hate school.
There's some people that like it. I remember Polymath really liked it, and I was surprised. I was giving him all this advice about how like not to go crazy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm having a great time."
What the fuck?
Like, I have no reference for that. I don't even understand.
Well, I guess if oh shit, that's not a good idea. I almost lit something on fire. So I have this blowtorch, like this fucking cigar lighting blowtorch. It's crazy, man. Like it could melt steel. I'm really not even exaggerating when I say that. I saw it at the cigar shop. I was like,
could it bring down the World Trade Center?
Yes, it could, and in fact, it did. But that's a story for another podcast. So we don't have space shit. We don't have space shit, but that's okay.
Thanks NASA not passing along knowledge because you're fucking short-sighted.
Gay as fuck. In 6 months, we can do space shit podcast. So I just want to do like 2 podcasts a year. We can talk more than that, but podcasts are generally an affair. But I might change my mind on that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, NPC meme, sort of. Not everyone conducts inner speech. Around 20% of the population says that they never conduct inner speech. Some people do it all the time, like us. The mean was that people,
I don't.
You don't?
Probably all.
You don't.
Okay, we can get back to that, but I don't all of the time. It's
okay.
I would describe it as seldom.
Oh, well, the mean was that people conducted inner speech 20% of the time. I do it constantly. I don't think there's ever a time where I'm not talking inside my brain.
Okay. Finish the introduction, then we can come back to this.
That's it. That was the introduction.
Okay. 20, probably not 20, more like 2% of the time for me. And I've gone actual years. This was back in college days. I remember going about 2 years without it, and then it coming back one day and being kind of startled and being like, oh, I remember doing this a lot more often. What happened?
That freaks me out. I can't understand that.
Well, I was just going so visual all the time. Like, when thinking, it was always a movie because I was just... Okay, you remember when I had a post back in the day that said, like, if you want to get into, like, occipital mode, imagine performing a crime, because that gets... Like, you have to start thinking in terms of, like, video and details and planning things out like that.
Oh. Actually, that explains the ADHD. At least in terms of feeling of being in such mindset. Because I can understand that, like, when you're doing something bad, I can understand the feeling of that and that, like, you go all visual and shit. I know what you mean now, actually. That's probably the only metaphor you could have made that would have actually allowed me to realize what you were saying. Yeah.
So I was... Aside from the fact that I was just doing math and physics all the time in my classes and like running, like I was running myself ragged with various school and out of school activities because I was doing too much. You know how the boomers do the fish stories? Like I was working full time and all that shit. Well, I was doing that shit, and I learned that you cannot do that. but it took me a couple of years to burn out. Anyway, the point is that I have gone a couple of years without it and been surprised when it came back. And just now, I conduct inner speech about 2% of the time. It's more likely, actually, that I will be thinking of, like, my inner speech will be music. And typically it's just, like, my mind making up music as it goes, which sounds bigger brain than it actually is, because I usually only have, like, 2 instruments going. But it's more likely that I'm, like, thinking out novel music. And that's probably a side effect of the creativity thing, honestly. It's like the brain just needs that novelty so badly at this point. So that's probably, okay, so the music thing, that's probably like 25% of the time, to be honest with you. And then the rest of the time is thinking through conceptual shit or, like, making actual plans. Speech for me is pretty rare. It's more often sort of a pseudo-visual, conceptual thing. Way more often, actually, when I'm doing actual thinking.
I have to admit, I can't even conceptualize that at all.
I'll have to think of another example then.
I'm so verbal, so word-oriented, so speech-y, visual.
I used to be. When I was a teenager, I remember, because I had to explain that to my dad one time, and I told him, like, when other people are talking, I'm, like, seeing the words, because I just read so much. Maybe the difference is that I only use audiobooks for the most part these days.
Audiobooks are great. It's really good that you do audiobooks instead of reading, because I'm sure that has greatly increased your ability in terms of decoding speech and speaking. I've noticed that when I've gone on really hardcore audiobook
Probably
listening. It's great.
That and podcasts.
Yeah,
podcast has probably been the very best thing for my social skills, including game.
I mean, look at this shit. We've gone like 3 fucking hours speaking at quite a high intellectual level, probably. I don't know. I'm fucked up. No clue.
I don't know.
Jordan Peterson can eat my dick off. Fucking. Oh, I'm gonna go to Joe Rogan. Oh, Joe Rogan. Nope. Joe Rogan, full of shit compared to the Aoli Para Akuma podcast. This match won't fucking like
the Akuma podcast, because
yes,
we are all within the dream. Do you want to hear a fun story about the first Skype call I ever did with somebody in Edenism?
Oh, sure.
As there was a guy went by Walter Schmidt back in the day, and we tried to have a conversation, but I was basically unable to talk because I was so nervous. And so I consider that I've made a lot of ground since then. He was a cool dude. Still is, I assume. I'm sure he's out there somewhere. But yeah, I was basically unable to talk because I don't know, I just couldn't figure what to say. And he was very nice about it. But now I talk to people I've never met. Like I meet people on Skype for the first time on a relatively regular basis now. And it's not even a big deal. And I do that in regular life too. But I never had a problem with that. Normal life, for some reason, is different.
But this,
and I still don't come off as normal, obviously, but I do a lot better than I used to.
I think doing these does help everyone involved with mixed speaking skill.
Yeah, because you jump around topics. That's social skills right there.
Yep, what the Hertiste posts and the studies, one of the creepiest things you can do is obsess on one topic instead of jumping around fluidly and all that.
Mm-hmm. So, you want to call it here? Or you want to...
I think that was my last topic from all these other things, but not really. Already talked spook, moon presence, spooky, scary skeleton. Even when I was a libertarian, I would get a hard-on watching videos of police brutality. That's a heavy side. That's a heavy side quote.
Oh, okay. Wait, Heaviside was a libertarian?
Quote, even when I was a libertarian, I would get a hard-on watching videos of police brutality. Heaviside.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so whatever to that.
He's probably a libertarian when he was 4.
Yeah, whatever. That's it. I mean,
I'm not entirely joking either.
Any more spook? I think, how long has this been?
It's been, like you said, like 4 hours.
Oh, fuck! I didn't realize that. Oh, well, if anybody makes it to this part, good on you.
Just chop it up. Just chop it up into the 20 minutes or something. Actually, if you want, you can send it to me and I can release, like... well, shit. You know, maybe don't trust me. I still haven't put out the part 3 of that Guto, I think.
Oh, fuck you. No, you haven't. I forgot about that. That's important, yeah.
I will put it on my list. Because I'm making a new list, and I am getting organized again.
Are you checking your list twice? Spooky.
Nothing is spooky than Santa.
Nothing is spooky.
NSA Santa.
It's one letter away from Satan.
No. I never noticed that in a million years.
You think that was coincidence, Spooky? My brain,
no,
I'll take one more shot.
I think that was on purpose.
Hopefully, I don't. I'm going to take a magnesium bath after this. Highly recommend magnesium bath, best bath. One more shot, I will be good to go. And the bottle's almost empty, so yeah. Hopefully, nobody notices that one. I guess nothing left to talk about. Talked about fucking everything. I'll put some kind of clip at the end. So, goodbye, people. I'll talk to you like literally 2 minutes longer than the podcast. So we'll end it here. If there's anything else to say, like usual, we'll say it off camera. Okay. Goodbye, people. If you actually listen to this whole thing, by the way, I'm not going to break this up into a bunch of parts. Maybe 1 or 2, but like it's just too much work. So goodbye, people.
John, I think you should like 30-minute chunks. Because it was really shitposting, which is fun, but it's not fun for 4 hours.
All right. Well, after the exam, I have a lot of time. I mean, until October 31st. So actually, I won't make any anti-promises or promises because it is such a long period of time that anything is possible. Definitely. Okay.
Right. So we got. Sorry, I keep interrupting your goodbye to the people.
No.
Goodbye, everyone. We love you. We love you so much.
Yes, tentacles. Goodbye.